talking of church services, one of the most famous ones that we will see ever is what our royal family do in terms of Sandringham. We're also going to be bringing you the King's speech as well.
Yes, what traditions are they breaking? When can we expect them to arrive for the Christmas Day service? We'll find out. We've got one man who can tell us everything we need to know. It is the royal biographer extraordinaire commentator, Michael Cole. Thank you very much for joining us from your home in Suffolk this morning. Good morning to you and a very happy Christmas, Michael.
Good morning, Emily. Good morning, Patrick. Merry Christmas to you. Like good children everywhere, I'm very pleased to be up early in the morning on Christmas Day to see you.
And dressed really so smartly, I must say, Michael, you're looking great.
I think he sleeps in a suit.
Well, you know, this is the only way I can be polite and give a compliment to all your viewers by being dressed beautifully. I don't have wonderful sweaters like that, so this is the best I can do. Below the desk, you'll find some blue jeans and trainers, but up here,
no, you've revealed your secret. You've revealed your secret. Well, at least you're wearing trousers.
Yeah, unlike me.
Some people do it in, in their underpants.
We couldn't name names. Now, look, let's get back on track here, Michael. OK, what are the royal family going to be doing today?
Well, the royal clans have gathered at Sandringham. They're all there. Last night, there was a black tie dinner, and referring back to your previous guest, the German tradition is to exchange gifts at that night on Christmas Eve, Weihnachten. And that is what they did last night. The jokier gifts, the funnier gifts, the ruder gifts, the better. And obviously there was a lovely evening there. And it's a very tight fit at Sandringham House this year because in earlier years, after Christmas Day, when she was still Duchess of Cornwall, Queen Camilla used to go off to her house in Wiltshire and with her family. But all her family are there this year, her grandchildren and her children and so on. So it's going to be quite a different sort of Christmas. As you say, the royal family will be going, and there they are from an earlier year, to St Mary Magdalene Church, which is within the grounds of Sandringham House. I used to cover that in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And in those days, there used to be perhaps a couple of dozen royal supporters there. But now it's a major event. People drive from all over the country just to see them go to church. I think that was partly the Diana effect in the 1980s. People started to go there. And then, of course, there'll be a wonderful Christmas dinner. They'll be probably, in fact, almost certainly be having a Norfolk turkey. Down here in Suffolk, I shall be having a Suffolk turkey from Yew Tree Farm, by the way. I just thought I'd give them a shout out. And my darling daughter, our darling daughter and her children come with Teddy, the Tibetan Terrier. They'll be here for lunch and they're staying a few days. How long will they going to stay? Well, we don't know. That is not to be determined quite yet. Anyway, it's like everybody else, we're enjoying this. It's a family time. It's a time for families to get together. Unfortunately, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex obviously didn't get that memo about families coming together. And I'm quite sure there will be a little sadness, particularly by the King, that he won't be seeing his grandchildren.
That is a real shame, Michael. It is a real shame that they can't be together.
Totally. And I think, Christmas is a time for getting together. I don't know whether there's going to be any phone calls or any attempts at being in touch. I somehow doubt it. They've made their life there. It is a great shame. I'm sure that will hurt the King deeply. Obviously, he loves his younger son very much and would want nothing more than reconciliation, because we all want that at this time of the year.
Yeah, well, I just want to let our viewers and listeners know that we've got a camera outside Sandringham that we're going to be going to later on, so we'll hopefully catch the royals as they're on their way into church. The other thing that we're going to be doing here at GB News at 3 p.m. is the King's speech, the second one ever. I believe he's making history this year because he's doing it in front of a living tree, and he's got sustainable baubles, Michael, which is an important thing.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah. This was recorded earlier this month at Buckingham Palace. But as you say, a Christmas tree in a pot, which will then be planted somewhere else, and sustainable baubles, including dried oranges. There we are. We see with Victoria Memorial behind him. And in his speech, of course, it wouldn't be Charles if there wasn't a lot of mentions of the environment, global warming, and other themes which are very close to his heart, and of which, of course, he has been a well-respected pioneer around the world. And I'm quite sure in his speech he'll reflect upon the climate conference in Dubai, at which he made a very good speech and very well received. That was, of course, written by himself, as indeed will be his address this afternoon, his Christmas speech. I'm sure they'll also, well, I would suspect that he would reflect upon two very successful state visits to Germany and then to France, and some deft work, some deft diplomacy during the visit to Kenya.
Michael,
Yeah.
is he very religious, do you know? Does he have faith like his mother? How religious is he as a man?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He believes deeply. He has faith, as indeed, as you say, his mother did. No, he of course is head of the Church of England, so it's rather convenient that he believes in God.
Oh yes.
But he does, and that's why he was very insistent that the whole religious, spiritual side of the coronation was to be completed in full, as indeed it was. And you know what the difference is, Emily, this year? There we see it. The king is so happy these days. I mean, I'm 5 years older than he is. He was 75, so you can do the maths. I'm 80. I've watched him throughout his life.
Are you really, Michael?
Sorry, hang on a minute,
Hang
Michael.
on a minute.
Hang on,
You're 80.
No, I don't buy that for a second. What moisturiser are you using?
Well, I promise you, Patrick, it's true. And I remember vividly my mother, I was 5 years old, saying, Princess Elizabeth's had a baby boy. And of course, we didn't even know what his name was. So I've observed him and written about him for more than 60 years. And he was always a little bit querulous. He was a little bit difficult. He was a little bit doubtful. And he was sometimes frustrated. And really, he felt that the world didn't understand him. And he got frustrated about this. But since he's grown into the role, taken over the role, it's been the making of him. But it's amazing. That's what 18 years of happy married life can do to you. Patrick, I know this is very much on your mind. And he's a completely changed person. He's smiling all the time. He's laughing all the time. We will see this in this documentary on Boxing Day of the rehearsals at the Palace. I mean, it was the Palace of Varieties when things were going wrong. And he's always had a great sense of humour, but he was always trapped in the Goons era when smart people like me had moved on to Monty Python. And the only person who could really make him laugh was the Queen Mother. Well, of course, she has not been with us since the beginning of the century. But Camilla does make him laugh. And he's very happy. He's the merry monarch, you know. He really is. And he's enjoying his role.
Lovely. Well, Michael, can I just say thank you very much. You have brightened our Christmas morning. You've brightened the nation's Christmas morning. You've done a tremendous service to the people of Britain, as you always do. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas day. Raise a glass for us, won't you? And thank you for everything you've done for us as a channel throughout the year as well, Michael. It's always a delight chatting to you. So thank you very, very much. Michael Cole there. Brilliant.
And please do reveal your skincare routine.
And please do tell us what moisturiser you use, because if he's 80, then good grief. But there we